the once notorious Kilometre Ford Junction. Until a year ago, no man's land. But the snipers are now gone, replaced by traffic police as ordinary life returns. Buildings obliterated by ferocious fighting sit alongside newly painted shops. One of the biggest signs of normalisation is a bank, the Somali capital's first for more than 20 years. Its owner, Liban, has, for most of his life, been in exile in America, where he ran a string of small businesses. Eager for new challenges, he swapped Baltimore for Mogadishu, his childhood home.
How are you? Fine.
Good to see you. Good to see you. So, how was your sleep last night?
Well, it's better than Djibouti.
Better than Djibouti.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, he's visiting us from Turkey. He came yesterday, and today is the first day he's visiting our compound. So after this, we'll just sit down and talk about opportunities, mainly construction.
So maybe your future client.
Yeah, partnership. Yeah.
Both of them, partnership, and after them,
Yes.
client maybe.
Somalia has one of the highest kidnap rates in the world, but this doesn't put off Emre.
I was working in Iraq. That's why it's not risky now.
The bank opened last May. Customers are still rare, but Liban is focused on the long term, and he's adapted to a culture where there's been no formal state for 2 decades.
Two people have to tell who you are, can verify, say that, yes, we know this person, and he is who he is.
Why?
And because that's why, since there's no uniform ID.
The bank may be starting from scratch, but customers are increasingly placing their trust in Liban. Ahmed Jama, who's just returned from England, is one such client.
He banks with us every day. And, he owns a few restaurants in Mogadishu, especially one of the biggest restaurants. We call here 5-star.
It's too far for 5-star.
Liban relies heavily on foreign expertise. The operations chief, Samuel, a Kenyan, used to work at a major bank in Nairobi, but got bored of his conventional job.
For me, it's good. Actually, it has really boosted my CV. If I talk to somebody who's never been to Mogadishu, I tell them, hey, you know what? I'm a pioneer of the first Somali bank in Mogadishu. Everybody now stops focusing on your CVs, on your academic qualification. Tell us the experience now.
Along with economic opportunities, religious freedom has returned to Mogadishu. Sheikh Muhyiddin Ali is the leader of a branch of the Sufi sect, a moderate form of Islam. He was forced into exile due to threats by the Shabab, the extremist Islamic insurgents who controlled most of Mogadishu until a year ago. The Shabab murdered senior dignitaries and preach a hardline interpretation of the Quran.
The Shabab have no religion. They're just thieves, terrorists. They brainwashed people. They twisted the true reading of the Quran.
The Sheikh's grandson shows us a family shrine, which was desecrated by the Shabab at the height of its powers in March 2010.
This is what is left. All of here were concrete. They put a very strong explosion. This is the pillars of the concrete.
In just 3 days, 7 other tombs suffered the same fate. The shock was immense. People rejoice in their newfound freedom. Yet, after 2 decades of war, they recognize that there are still huge challenges.
Even if the Shabab leave the whole country, the problem of clan fighting remains, and the government doesn't have enough power to control the situation.
Somalia's transitional government has been widely accused of systematic corruption. Tens of thousands of people live in poverty, despite the official departure of the Shabab from Mogadishu. Many were displaced by famine last year. Others squat in public buildings. And now, against the backdrop of a property boom here in the capital, the government has announced that squatters will be evicted without compensation.
My husband has nothing. He's a soldier but has no money. I have children, including this one. I have 5 in total.
In better days, these dingy flats provided homes for students at the National University. But for many years, the residents have been engaged in a daily fight for survival. The walls are pockmarked by shell holes. So many, no one can remember when each one hit. Fatima sleeps in this room with her 5 children.
My children sleep here. This is the bed of Abdirashid, of Sheen, Ade, Fatumo, and Hani. As you can see, we have nothing. Some days we eat, others we go without.
In this building, most women are married to soldiers, many of whom have gone without their salaries for months. Asha Jama is one of the few women in the army. During the fighting, she was a frontline medic, and now lives in fear of eviction.
I support the initiative of the government, but they have to find us a secure place to live. I'm part of the Somali army, so I'm in constant danger. We can't stay outside. The Shabab would find us and kill us.
Although the Shabab's conventional troops withdrew from Mogadishu a year ago, the militants retain a clandestine presence. But they're not the only threat. Crime has flourished since the Shabab left, and the police are unable to plug the power vacuum.
But these people, they are thieves, you know thieves?
Not just thieves, but also government soldiers, arrested for ill discipline. The prisoners air their grievances.
I've been detained for 9 days and nobody has brought us any food.
Okay, today we will bring you something to eat.
We've been arrested without any reason. Let us go.
Without a functioning judicial system, many prisoners sit rotting in their cells. The police are woefully under-equipped. Officers say they haven't been paid for between 6 and 8 months. Ali shows us what he uses to write up reports.
No computer, we have this on. Yeah, we'll do for a spare part.
Their lack of resources is not the only problem. The police are also vulnerable to attack by the Shabab.
The police is attacked. Someone who was working for the government, all of them are attacked.
Ali is philosophical.
I was born one day, I will die one day. Only I am afraid from Allah.
Mogadishu remains a dangerous city. We're back with the banker, Liban. Whenever he goes outside, he takes armed guards.
When we came here, we needed a bigger army, but now the city is getting really better. Only this car, you have to have this cover, so nobody can see who is inside.
Why?
Because that's security. You know, you don't want people to recognize who is riding the car.
Assassinations have surged this year. A record number of journalists have been killed. Politicians and businessmen are also vulnerable. And the killers invariably go unpunished.
Because you're a good target.
I know. They made a propaganda about this is a foreign-owned bank, and so there's a lot of propaganda about us. Yeah.
At the gate to another of his compounds, Liban waits until the last moment before revealing his face.
Open the door. It's Liban Egal, and these people are with me.
This building is one of his regular haunts. It houses the family's printing business, opened by his father in the 60s. Liban has revived operations because printing is his passion.
That's my father. That's my father, and that is his diploma from Germany. Both those things.
It's a treasure trove of old documents attesting to Somalia's extraordinary history.
This is Somali National Alliance. This is the Aidid organization.
Mohammed Aidid is the famous warlord who took on the American military and won. In October 1993, 2 US military helicopters were shot down and the bodies of its soldiers dragged through the streets of Mogadishu, contributing to the Americans' eventual withdrawal from the city. In another country, Liban's documents would be in a museum. So too this printing press, a German Heidelberg that is over half a century old. But, he says, this machine is the only one still working in the city.
This is for the police, the Somali police. So this is the forms that they pay their salary.
Branches of the government are always keen to do business. But with his family having been stung in the past, Liban demands cash up front.
Even the other administration that came through, they wanted you to print and pay later, but they never pay. So we decided a long time ago.
So no credit even for the
No
government?
credit, no, nobody. Yeah. Especially the government, they don't pay.
The mandate of Somalia's transitional government has just expired. A new constitution has been approved based on federalism and Sharia law. But it will take more than a written document and new institutions to reconcile a population that has lived through so many years of bitter civil wars.